Hey there, Steve 1989 from MRE Info again, and this time I'm going to be presenting two different South African Defense Forces rations. They're 24-hour rations, and I believe the date of production is 1988 on these. There are slight differences on these. The one on the left is a SADF, the one on the right is an SANDF, South African National Defense Force ration. Now, I didn't even realize there was a difference until I did a little more digging on this, and the two papers that are under these rations pertain to each of these specific rations. Now, I got this info off the MRE Info forums. donaldjcheek and Laughing Man compiled this information, specifically in this case Donald. And I'm just going to skim over this. My apologies if this isn't sufficient, but I'll say it's better than nothing. And then hearing me yap for the next 10 minutes on what this is, you can just quickly read this, go back and just kind of pause it, read along, and hopefully that'll do. Now, give me some input if you have a better suggestion on that, but what I'm thinking is I can save a little bit of time with that. Now, we can get to the fun part of opening this up. I'm going to start with the green one, the green pack. That's the one I've really been eyeballing. I don't know why, but it just seems so, I don't know, interesting. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, here you go. It was already open when I got it. I'm keeping my eye out for some actual sealed ones that might be a little bit difficult to acquire. I'm not really sure. I mean, this might be the only time I find this thing. I have no idea, but let's find out what we got here. And hopefully it's complete. I don't think it is. I have a feeling there are a couple things missing out of this, but that's okay. It's better than nothing. It's a pretty interesting look into what is now a relatively rare, unusual ration. Without further ado, let's see what we got. And I'm gonna first start with some chicken broth, which you can see here has a hole from a bug. That's a shame. You know, the stuff, the way it was packed, really, I'm amazed it's intact at all. Salt. Oh, good amount of sugar here. I've noticed rations, they really provide a lot of sugar. You ever see a Russian ration, how much sugar some of those, the IRPs have? See, that's solid. The orange drink. Yeah, bummer. This one's kind of solid. It feels like it's really oxidized, but we're going to try that one out. Cafe con leche. Not bad. Got two of them. This one's hard as a rock. A little crispy, to say the least. Another salt. Another salt. And then this is kind of funny. These things are, I guess these are the drink bags. I mean, I said on MRE Info, and I'll say it again. These things look like they'd be a little awkward to actually put water in. We're going to try and do it too. It's a little bit messy in there, but we'll give it a shot. And it looks like they'd house a goldfish. That's what it looks like it's good for. You know, it's kind of funny. Here, let's zoom out a little so we can get a good view of this. Now, I'm guessing this is one of those mint energy bars. Not really sure. We're going to find out. I'm even going to taste test that. Ooh, chicken biryani. Look at that. Mmm, gourmet. Oh yeah, beefsteak and beans. Mmm. Rocking and rolling it with some beefsteak and beans out in the field. Yeah, oh, not bad. Alright, this looks like some sort of porridge. We're gonna check that out too. Quite a bit of that. And then, oh yeah, here we go. Chloroflock water purification tablets. And this was put in a Ziploc baggie, I guess, to keep it from making much more of a mess. But here's some various candies. And we're going to dig into that as well. I can still smell the cinnamon. 2 things of biscuits. Oh, not bad. Here we go. 1 for each entree. Yummy. And this ration's not in the best of shape, but it is the only one I've found yet. Alright. Got a glass there. We're gonna first start with this drink mix. And I'm going to mix it up in here, and then we're going to put it in the bag. Alright, let's check this out. I'm going to rip it from the bottom. because I want to keep this packet. You don't find these every day. Anyways, let's see what we got going on here. I have a feeling it's not going to be the best of appearance. Oh, and it smells just like some spoiled orange drink mix from an MRE from back in like the 80s, early 90s. Oh gosh, I like breathed that in. Excuse me. See that? Ugh. It's like clouding up everywhere. It's kind of notorious of doing that. Old drink mixes. Really any drink mix, but when it's old, it's just extra strange. We'll just fill it up halfway. And while we're mixing that, I can smell the cinnamon and it smells pleasant. I could go for a cracker right about now. I'm kind of hungry. Oh, they smell kind of rancid. There's just a strange undertone, but we're gonna give it a shot. Oh God, it's so brittle. It just breaks apart. Hold on. I don't know if it's good yet. Gotta try it again here. Yeah. Not very palatable. Not palatable at all, but I'm sure it was back in the back on the, I'm guessing, what is that, the 100th day of 88? Excuse me, let me set this down. I'm thinking the lot code's about the same as an MRE. 1988. Guessing it's the 100th day. Anyways, let's see. What do we got next? We'll dump that candy out in a minute, but I'm thinking porridge, you know? Let's hope that there's not too much dried milk in this thing, because words of wisdom, right? Old dry milk's hard to detect. It has a slightly iffy smell, and it's, if your senses are off in any way due to allergies or whatever, or you're standing around a fire out camping and, you know, your sinuses are just smoky per se, right? You're not going to be able to detect old dry milk. You're just not going to be able to tell. You can't tell with the taste, especially if you're hungry. I have gotten sick from old dry milk more often. Oh yeah, and that has a spoiled smell just like some dried milk or something. It's very stale. Check that out though. We're gonna pour that in here. Ooh. That is quite a bit of porridge. I am curious to how much water this requires, but we're gonna find out right now. And stir up this drink mix. There are parts that have clumped at the bottom. I'm actually gonna try that out anyway. Ugh. Sweet with spoiled vitamin B6. This surely is going to be the breakfast of champions. Now I'll just add about that much for now. Actually, I think it needs a little more. There we go. Now I feel better. Okay. Let's stir that up. And while that's mixing up and being gross like it is, I'm actually thinking this would be useful for that porridge, for mixing it up. If you were out in the field and you didn't have a mess kit, that probably would have been a wise choice. And I didn't think about it till just now. But as you can see, this stuff requires quite a bit of water. We just added about 6 ounces. Let's add, what I'm thinking, about another 3 or 4. And then we're going to let that kind of settle. And while we're doing that, we're going to add the chicken broth over to this side. Although a bug hole and it has seen better days, we got to examine this whole thing. We really got to know what's up with this. Anyways, add the soup powder to approximately 250 milliliters, a cupful of boiling water, and stir. I'm not trying this out. There's a bug hole in there. I just don't do stuff like that. I don't expect anyone else to either. I don't advise it. Any packaging that is compromised, really, you don't want to fool around with it. I've made that mistake Check that out, clumped up in there. I almost don't even want to add water. It's just disgusting. You get the idea. Adding water, it would be difficult to mix, and it's going to bring out an odor potentially that I do not want to deal with. So with that being said, let's see what we got here. I can just smell that from here. That, and then the mixing up of the this stuff, which has kind of solidified in parts. Oh yeah, that is just rich. Let's add a little bit more water. I swear to you, I think this is going to require a total of 12 ounces to fully hydrate. Because this is a 16.9 ounce bottle. And it looks like there's about 4 ounces left in the bottle. And we've got instant porridge. Which actually, this would have been terrific, you know, when fresh. And it looks like an ample amount of carbohydrates to keep you energized out on a long trek. And these guys were doing it. And while I'm waiting for that to fully hydrate, we're going to move these. I'm not going to open this one. See that? Hard as a rock. There's no point. We already know what it looks like. Here you go. Check that out. And I'm going to pour that into the drink mix and then actually try and drink a little out of there. Although if we already know it's disgusting, gotta do it anyway. Check this out here. It's my first time seeing what's in this thing. This unlabeled. Smells pleasant. This actually looks pretty good. Oh, I might end up eating this whole thing if it's not rancid or something. You never waste a good ration, old or not. The oldest chocolate I've eaten and finished a bar of was from 1951. I've eaten Hershey's tropical bar from a Coast Guard ration from 1957. Yeah, so something like this is a piece of cake. Let's see. It smells like caramel or something. I don't know what kind of bar this is. I didn't read about this one. Excuse me. It's caramel. A rare delicacy. And it is. There probably aren't many of these left on the planet. Cafe con leche. Oh yeah, this one actually feels good. I'm sure the cream, the dried milk has gone bad. But let's give it a shot anyway. What I'm going to do is put it into my mess cup here. And I'm going to move this over. Let's put this here. Alright. I know you can't look into the thing. It's not translucent, see-through like our glass over here. But it's just so official being able to put it in a mess cup. Let's check out the porridge now that it's actually had a pretty good chance to rehydrate. Let's give this a whiff. And it fails the smell test miserably. That smells stale, and I can smell dried milk in there, and it is that subtle smell, and I know better not to fall into that trap again. Now, let's check this out. The Cafe con leche. It looks alright, actually. You can get a good look at that there. It has the white and the dark. It's the cream and the coffee mixed together. And keep that packet, just slit it at the top. That's a good way to do it. As good as any. I mean, I guess it's cleaner than ripping it open. And one more look at that before we add some water here. I'm thinking it would probably require a good 6 and 8 ounces. I'm just going to fill it to about there. And we'll stir that up in a moment here. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to use the back part of this spoon. And hopefully that'll be sufficient. And maybe that's why you want to use hot water, because this kind of stuff does not mix up all too well. Well, also because I'm not using the right part of the spoon. That's going to take a moment to fully mix up. While that's mixing up, I mean, that's just a sight. Oh. And we're going to check out this variety of candy and what looks like a cheese tube or something. Yeah, that looks like some cheese. It's like the South African version of cheese spread. And it's looking pretty, I don't know, pretty decent. Gosh, look at that. Some of those have just stuck in there, miserably stuck in the Ziploc baggie. Oh, look at this. Little chew of sorts. There you go. Check that out. I'm actually going to try that out right now because it's just so appetizing. Especially with the sticky fingers going on here. It's just... Speaking of sticky fingers, Sticky Fingers. He's a great reviewer. You should check his stuff out. Awesome shots, cool tunes, super relaxing. I gotta say, one of the more relaxing kinds of ration review videos. One sec, I'm gonna wash hands. I could smell that porridge from about 10 feet away. It's just stale. It's the only way I can explain it. And that looks like a dried fruit bar. And it doesn't look too swift. Now it's touching this. Alright, let's give this a try. It looks like some sort of banana chew. Not very good. Chalky. It's very chalky. Actually, I think that couldn't possibly be gum, could it? I think it is. It is. That's gum. Alright. Can't waste gum. Anyway. No go. Same with this one. It's just kind of liquefied. Are there any of these that are still good? We're going to find out in a sec. Let's see here. This one looks like it's kind of liquefied as well. Yeah, that's some of the worst gum I've ever had in my life. It's coming right back out here. Look at that. That was gum. Hard to believe. Anyways, let's see what this thing is. It's pretty nasty. That used to be a hard candy I can just bite right into. Gosh, that's gross. Sorry about that. Oh, that's just gotta go. No more of those candies. No more of that gum. It's the rest of them. I'm just gonna put right back in that baggie. There was such a heavy amount of food coloring in that gum that it just coated my tongue with a yellow food coloring. It was extremely unpleasant. Ugh. I feel like I need to wash that down with some really old coffee and give it a shot. Oh boy. Let's give the coffee a shot now. You can see it's still not fully mixed. See if it'll do a little better this time. Smells pretty darn good. It smells like cafe con leche. It really does. Oh, but it tastes so bland. And I think it's still good. The dried milk in it, or the non-dairy creamer, which, by the way, for anything that's a creamy flavor, or, you know, for anything that's a dried milk to anything that's a dried non-dairy creamer, and it's old, I'll pick the non-dairy creamer over milk any day, because milk just doesn't hold. It just has a terrible shelf life for anything over anything over several years. You know, I got sick off of a British multi-climate. It was a muesli. Oh, that was bad coffee. That is some, you know, that was not good right there. Oh, there's just something about that. It was it tasted like just some really old coffee that you just added milk to. Like you'd kept it on the burner for like 3 hours. You're like, all right, let's have some coffee. I need to wake up here. And you don't care about making a new pot. So you just like go for it. All right, we're gonna try the cheese. Whoa. Oh gosh. Oh. Oh. Oh, if you could smell that from wherever you're at, you would evacuate. Why am I doing this again? Oh, I just did a third time. Yeah, that's going in the trash. It smells like old MRE cheese spread. Not quite. Oh, God. What's wrong with my curiosity and some of this stuff? Alright, now we're really gonna go to the business after this fruit bar, which we gotta try this out. I mean, look at how it like leaked at the bottom and did this whole thing and turned black. I don't know if this was always black. I believe it was always dark. I mean, it's just carbohydrates and fiber. And sugar is a really good preservative. It has a nice mild raisin type smell to it. Not bad. Not bad at all. You know what? I'm gonna eat that. Well, maybe the top part, that bottom part here. You know what? That's a really good fruit leather. That's what it is. Excuse me. Tastes like raisins and prunes and crystallized sugar. I'm just going right into this thing. This is fantastic. This thing held up. You know, that is the allure that I have in rations sometimes. When you find the old stuff like this, where are you gonna find it other than an old ration, right? It's a delicacy. That's why I consider it. Let's go with my caramel bar over there. Both of those have a long shelf life. I'm gonna put these to the side because I actually want to eat these and I don't want the weird canned food to touch them. Actually, I gotta get another bite of this right now. That's like a caramel flavored Tootsie Roll. Like a big Tootsie Roll bar. But instead of that cheap Tootsie Roll chocolate flavor, it's a buttery caramel flavor with no grit or graininess to it. I wish I had 100 of those things because I would eat them. Now, like, sugar is sugar. Hear that? I'm not opening these. I'm sorry, but that's just pointless. I'll take them out camping, the salt and the sugar. I'm going to use them and probably save the packaging. Actually pack it back in and put it back into this box. This is what I do. I save this packaging. It's always like a trophy. This I'm going to save. A good presentation piece, and we don't need to open both of them to know that they're not that great. Now look at the rust. I need to clean this can up. It needs my help. It needs to be opened. Beefsteak and beans. We're going to take this out of the way here. Wow, that's just a lot of weight. That porridge, I think, is probably a third of the caloric content of this ration. It seems like it. There was just a lot there. I might be wrong. Now let's give this a look. No hissing. That's kind of nice. Sorry, I'm doing a can opener. I should be going classy with a P38. But it's not a C ration. And I want to keep this can in absolute shape. Oh yeah, here we go. Pretty. Oh, it smells so bad. It smells terrible. Oh, why did I do that? I just whiffed it again. It's just to confirm its nastiness. I'm gonna scoop this out so you guys can get a good look at what a South African Defense Forces entree looks like. Jeez, look at the separated fats. It is definitely not edible. I can guarantee that to you based off that smell. Oh God, it could make me gag if I get too close. Now, look at that. We're gonna zoom in here. Look at that. How many times are you gonna see some beefsteak and beans? You know, South African Defense Forces. Gonna have to wash this can out. I save these cans and you put them back in the wrap pack for display. I got that can washing out right now. And while that's washing out, we're gonna open up the ever interesting chicken biryani, which has a lot code H85CBGD, and who knows what that means, but it doesn't really matter anymore. Just lot codes. Yep. Always exciting seeing new rations. And maybe even being able to try one that's still edible. That's the best part. Anyways. But still get to see something neat that you don't see every day. Chicken biryani. Behold. Oh man, that is something else right there. Gonna wash this can out too. Now, look at that thing. We're gonna break that up too and see what we got inside of there. It doesn't smell as bad, but I can still smell that it's spoiled. I mean, it's from 1988. Oh, nice. But it's not as bad as that beef and beans. Man. There's just something about this stuff. It is something else. Look at that. Well, there you have it. A South African Defense Forces 24-hour ration from 1988. We had beefsteak and beans, chicken biryani, some cafe con leche, and some crackers, and of course that caramel energy bar, which has not been listed as one of the bars. I did not see that in any documentation anywhere. And of course, biscuits, which I'm gonna, for the heck of it. That used to be really good, I can tell. It's still not bad. I could probably eat one of those crackers, but why, you know? I mean, it's not worth it. There you go. Ended up not using that drink pouch. Let me do that real quick. And before the show is over here, we're gonna try out one of these goldfish pouches and put some... I mean, how did the guys not spill this everywhere is beyond me. I mean, I just spilled it just now a little bit. I'm sure there has to be a better technique, but I don't know it. Oh, and it's springing a leak. Wonderful. That's going in the trash right now. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you all have a great day or evening, whichever's the case, and we'll see you soon with a new video coming right up after this one. Alright, take care and see ya.